Amica was one of 3 Rhea chicks to hatch on June 1st at the Ritchie Ranch in Lebanon, Oregon. We first met Amica when she was 1 week old. She was the one with the little white spot on the top of her head, running around in a grassy area with her 2 siblings. We watched in amazement at their speed and skill at catching small bugs to eat, and as we watched, it became evident that they all had different personalities, even at this young age. One was quite brave and confident, with no fear of strangers, almost strutting as it walked around the pen. Another was calm and just happy to lie in the warmth of the sun and hum to the others. And then there was Amica. She was a little unstable on her long legs, and while she could run fast, she would often trip over nothing and sometimes had trouble stopping before hitting the wire fence. She was also the most curious of the 3, had the biggest appetite, and unfortunately was also the loudest. Once we arrived home, we carefully carried her into the house and sat her down in the pen area that we had prepared. A small foam platform made up the floor to prevent her from slipping, and an open box to sleep in, and special food and water bowls, all surrounded with a 3-foot-high plastic fence, all in the middle of our living room. Being curious, she slowly began exploring her new surroundings, but she didn't seem to like being alone. We quickly learned that the best way to calm her down was to open her pen and softly speak to her in a low and soothing voice. It was at this point that we realized she was beginning to see us as part of her flock, and this privilege of acceptance afforded us special insights into the undiscovered world of Rheas. We learned that she was very curious and playful. Once, when I was eating lunch, she came up to investigate with her long neck stretched out to see what I had, as we often shared bites of whatever we were eating with her. But she spotted my napkin, and with the speed of a striking cobra, she snatched the napkin and ran off with it in her bill. She would often try to engage the other animals in these games, but they just didn't seem to understand what she was doing. Birds grow in size very rapidly, and Amica outgrew her living room enclosure after just 3 months. So we fenced off a large portion of the backyard for her to explore during the day. We had to prepare it by removing anything she could eat or obstacles she might trip over. She ventured out into the yard cautiously at first, but within no time at all she was nibbling the grass, pulling up earthworms, and playing with sticks. Within a short period of time, Amica was spending most of the day outside. The weather was still warm, and the sun stayed up well into the evening hours. The chickens, on the other hand, didn't seem concerned at all. We had introduced Amica to them when she was much smaller than they were, and now, even though she was at least twice their size, they seemed to consider her one of the flock. The dog was great fun, since she could run almost as fast as Amica and seemed willing to at any opportunity. The 2 of them would race around back and forth, with Amica stopping to jump straight up into the air, twisting her neck from side to side, then off again with wings out as she made the sharp turn to miss the fence. Well, most of the time she missed the fence. By December, she was nearly 6 months old and stood almost 5 feet tall. When she opens her wings, they span 6 feet across. Her body is now so big, she has to carefully position herself to get through the sliding glass door at night when she comes in. She will continue to grow until she's about a year old, and it remains to be seen if she will still fit through the door. With the winter days being shorter and colder, Amica was spending more time in the house in the evenings and was finding more things to entertain herself. She learned how to turn light switches on and off with her beak, can lock and unlock doors, and likes to carry the television remote around. She also likes to explore my desk, as it has a lot of small objects that she can carry off in her beak, causing me to give chase. Amica shares our small house with 4 humans, 2 cats, a snake, 2 goldfish, and a dog. Usually everyone gets along very well, but on occasion there is conflict. One evening while I was working at my desk, one of the cats came over and jumped into an open drawer and curled up for a nice nap. The problem was that any open drawer was an open invitation for Amica to discover some tasty or interesting treasures. She immediately rose up a good 2 feet above the cat and tried to peek around it, but it was no use. Then, in frustration, her head and long neck began weaving from side to side the way a cobra dances to the music of a flute, until she couldn't stand it anymore, and she opened her beak, slowly bent over, and gently pecked at the large cat. In the evening, when it's time to go to bed, Amica cuddles in her own special corner of the living room and lays her head on her pillow for the night. During the past 6 months with Amica, she has become a member of our family. She shares our home, our yard, our leisure time, and our love. She has taught us much, but we never know what to expect or what she will do next. Each season brings its own surprises as we look forward to sharing her life each day and watching her grow.